सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञात्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनो सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। वेदोदधिं समुन्मथ्य ज्ञानरत्नं समुद्धृतं येन तस्मै वसिष्ठाय गुरुणां गुरवे नमः। वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। शब्द ब्रह्म की जय। सरस्वती महारानी की जय। योग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। हम योग वशिष्ठ का निर्वाण प्रकरण पूर्वार्ध 64वां अध्याय देख रहे हैं। इसके पहले हम कल ये विचार किए थे कि राम जी का सवाल के ऊपर स्वप्नगत संकल्प कैसे चेतन हो सकता है, तो उसको वशिष्ठ जी बड़ा सुंदर उदाहरणों से समझाए। ओह यस यस, टुडे इज संडे, forgotten because we are beyond time and space. We are going through Yoga Vasishtha Nirvana Prakaran first half and 64th chapter according to the question of Lord Rama, that is, how it is possible for the thoughts in the dream can have self-realization, means they can be aware, they can be conscious because they are in the dream. So how it is possible? This was the question of Rama. So Vasishtha ji replied to it with examples. Whatever is there, whether it is deep sleep or waking or dream, whatever state it may be, but there cannot be absence of the absolute presence. So, the consciousness is continued in all the states. Of course, it is covered up by ignorance, but the continuity is not broken. So, in that way, Vasishtha explains that continuation of the awareness, when reveals, then the whatever is there, whether thoughts or any objects, any names, any forms, they can be aware of the consciousness, because the inner flow is continued there, that is of absolute consciousness. On that basis, even the dreamy persons can be realized souls. If at all there is some reason for it. If the ignorance is removed and the inner current of consciousness is revealed, reopened, then there is possibility. Then the ignorance is not there, so knowledge is there, realization of the truth that is there. This is how he solved the question. He says, without any reason nothing can be happen. No cause is seen. So the reason is the continuation, inner continuation of, hidden continuation of the consciousness. That is the reason. So wherever you go, whatever you perceive by your sense objects, when they are changed because of the law of nature, everything changes. Even then, the presence of the absolute truth cannot be denied. So in that case, when the time and space and conditions that which is called ignorance or relativity, when that is removed, everywhere in all conditions, in all time, the truth can be revealed. So, on this basis, when you go from one place to the other, of course, the past is forgotten, the present is perceived by our senses, mind, etc. Of course, these phenomena is under the law of nature, but if this is removed, then everywhere everything, every name, every form, even if it is taken as inert or lifeless, whatever it is, if that overpowering, covering ignorance is, names and forms are deleted or unseen, the truth reveals. Anything can have self-realization. For example, we have so many stories from the scriptures, stone became the human being. Ahalya. Ahalya. The trees became human beings. Jamalarjun. Anything can be aware of the absolute truth.
So, relatively, in so-called waking state, we see objects, and in dreams also we see objects and we experience. So, in that case, how do we differentiate between the dreaming and the waking?
Difference is so many. You see, dreamy state has its meaning while dreaming. Arthakriyakarita. Arthakriyakarita means the sense of the action where it is felt or experienced, that is called Arthakriyakarita. For example, in the dream you are eating some fruits because of your hunger, and thereby you get satisfaction of your hunger of eating. That satisfaction will be in the dream only. That will not be continued in your so-called waking state. Okay? That also means the satisfaction is for a little time, certain time, and that is within the dream, and that is not continued in the waking state. That satisfaction what you got in the dreamy state. And so also, whatever you ate in waking state, that you have some satisfaction, isn't it? Do you have that satisfaction in the dreamy state? In deep sleep state? No. So one state is not continued in the other state. Whether it is for a smaller time or longer time, that doesn't matter. So on this basis we can say dreamy state is for a short time. Our so-called waking state is for a longer time. So we consider our waking state to be real waking state. But because it changes in the dreamy and sleepy state, so it is not the reality, because it has changed. In waking state also, whatever we perceive, whatever we do, that also changes. So changing phenomena cannot be a reality. On this basis we can say dream and deep sleep also is equal to your so-called waking state only when the time period is considered, it differs. Or else state is state, changing state. In deep sleep also it changes, in dream also it changes, and waking state also it changes. Whereas the fourth state, which witnesses all these three states, that doesn't change. Witnessing, that is called fourth state. That never changes. That's how that witnessing state is known to be real. Clear? And from different many angles we can see and compare these three states because of time, because of space, because of experiences, because of its continuity in other states. All these points can be considered from different angles.
So logically, the movement of the prana also differs from...
Prana is present in all the states because it has to activate. Change is possible because of prana. Don't forget this point. Because of prana only all these changing phenomena is possible. If there is no prana, there is no change. In meditation, prana stops. You are in kumbhak, in samadhi state. There is no change, so there is no time, no space, no conditions, because there is no change. One continuous state, that is called samadhi. And there only one has got witnessing state. So, the thoughts in the dream can have a form and can have a name, and they can be aware of itself. That is called realization of the truth. They can be aware of their own awareness, because the inner substratum, the awareness is all the time, in all conditions, is continued. Whether it is deep sleep or dream or so-called waking or witnessing. In all these four states, the consciousness is ever present. And that is क्योंकि वो सर्वात्मक ही तो ठहरी, because that is ever present and all pervading consciousness. So it, truly speaking, that consciousness only has all these ideas and everything, thoughts or names or forms. For another example, for this case, see, if I am thinking something, I am thinking I shall go to Rishikesh and then I shall go to ashram, and first of all I must go to Samadhi temple, and then Vishwanath temple, and then I shall meet other Guru Bhais. In all these thoughts, am I not present? So can you say I am absent in Rishikesh ashram? by the help of thoughts, I have communicated with Rishikesh ashram, and whatever I am doing there mentally, in that state also I am present there. And one point you can note, though I am sitting here at Uttarakashi, I can reach Rishikesh by thoughts. Okay? And I am present with the thoughts also. So, just analyze the case. Though I am present here, I am present in Rishikesh also. Can you deny it? So, if I am aware of my full presence, in that case, in that subtler state, the yogis, they get available in 1,000 places at a time, and they appear everywhere. This is the secret. Only they take a form of the thoughts which are in different places. Okay? On this basis, yogis know everything and they are present everywhere. With the form, when we are also the solid form of the subtle forms. Our thoughts are solidified and the mind has made this body, solid body, physical body, out of the subtle elements, 5 elements, and it has made this, composed this, or accumulated all these ingredients from the 5 subtle elements, and this body is formed. So subtle becomes gross. From this angle also we can see the subtle thoughts can have a gross form. If the process is known and activated by the yogi, then they can be present in 1,000 places.
So,
this is the process.
So relatively, if you have to understand Swamiji, so if you have a mirror and if you equally divide the mirror into 2 halves, so then it splits up into two. Then you see the 2 reflections you see from the mirror.
Yes, same reflections are seen in 2 places.
Should we understand?
Why to divide the mirror? Bring 100 mirrors. One object will be seen in 100 places. One object will have 100 reflections. Keep 1,000 water pots outside. How many suns you will see in those water pots? 1,000. So this way one becomes many. One becomes many in this way only. The reflections become many. And if the reflections take a form, then that becomes, the form also becomes many. Because of that one object continuation everywhere, that can be seen everywhere. This is the formula. If continuity is there, then forms will be there.
So analytically, you should understand that the subject becomes the object.
Yes, subject becomes the object. So now समस्त स्वप्न संकल्प आदि के एक साथ अवलोकन में कौन सा उपाय है? So now we have discussed our basic principles, and now there is a doubt. What is the process, what is the way to see everything at a time, at present? What is the way?
360 degrees.
Huh?
360 degrees.
Pardon?
360 degrees.
Yes. Now, what is the process? The question is, समस्त स्वप्न संकल्प आदि एक साथ अवलोकन में क्या कौन सा उपाय है? What is the process to see everything at a time? May it be in the dream or in the waking or in sleep. Of course, in the sleep state, there is no perception because mind is dull there. It doesn't work there. So, in dream, in waking, what is the process to see everything at a time and in one place? How can you see? इस प्रश्न पर उसका उपाय बतलाते हैं. Now, this was the question of Rama, and Vasirji replies, हे प्रिय, जिस उपाय से संकल्प स्वप्न आदि एक साथ दिखाई पड़ते हैं, उस उपाय को आप सुनिए. उत्तम अभ्यास और योग के बिना उनका एक साथ अवलोकन मिल नहीं सकता. In one sentence he replied it. Continuous and sincere practice of yoga, then only it is possible, or else it is not possible. Yoga means, what is the definition of yoga? Yoga means union. So if you unite with every names and forms, so everything is here and now. That union is the cause for it. If you can unite with all these names and forms in different times and space and different conditions, if the unity is achieved, then everything will be here and now. All the causes of time, space and conditions will not act there. We are self-awareness. Indirectly we are discussing the same thing what we discuss now. But angle changes. It is continuation or your presence, your connectivity, and that is possible by yoga only. हरि हर आदि ईश्वरों को अभ्यास के बिना भी अपने आप ही योग सिद्धि का फल प्राप्त है, यों विशेष बतलाते हैं। You, the individual beings, have to practice yoga, and through yogic process, yogic practice, continuous, sincere, honest practice, one can have this, means to see everything at a time at one place. He says, this principle is not applicable everywhere. It is only for the individual beings, but the universal beings are beyond it. Universal beings, Lord Vishnu and Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the protector, and Lord Shiva, the destroyer, because they are universal beings. If they protect, if Vishnu protects, he will protect everything, not partial protection. And if it is destroyed, then everything will be destroyed. And if it is created, thus everything is created. So everything means it is universality. So these three aspects or three deities, they are beyond the principle of this yoga. This is already achieved by itself, by them. They are beyond all these principles because they are universal beings. And we also always give the example of a person sitting on the higher place, say mountain top, or in somewhere in the sky, in a plane, or in a helicopter or somewhere, higher than the ground. So at a time he can see many things. Why? Because his angle of vision is widened. At a time, at one place, he can see many things which is not possible for a man who is standing on the ground because of height, because of wide angle vision. So, if you have all-round vision, then everything will be seen. You see, our eyes can move 108 degrees, hardly. If you try, you can see this side, you can see that side. But the eyes of the owls and some other birds, it rotates 360 degrees. And the eyes of the flies also, they can see in a greater angle than human beings. Have you studied the life history of flies, mosquitoes? Yes, in biology. And we cannot have both ways movement. But some animals, they have both way movement. Double engine train. Earthworms and many other examples are there.
Snakes also.
Snake also, yes. Two-headed snakes are there. Yes. Both the heads will work. So the angle of vision is cause for your visibility or availability of perceived objects and names and forms, everything. If you have smaller angle, you will have connectivity with the smaller things, less things, and if you have connectivity all round you in all directions, then everything will be available at a time, here and now, by you. हरि हर आदि ईश्वरों को अभ्यास के बिना भी अपने आप ही योग सिद्धि का फल प्राप्त है. This Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, etc., without practicing yoga, they have achieved this power because of their universality, all-round presence, etc. संकल्पित अर्थ की प्राप्ति में अभ्यास और योग का जो उपयोग है, वह चित्त की एकाग्रता के संपादन द्वारा ही है. We discuss it many times, the same process. What does yoga teach you? What is the main one principle? What does yoga teaches you? Yes, one-pointed thought. How to achieve one thought, not many. Many should be turned into one. So, when one is there, all the manys, they are bound to be near the one or in the one. Many in one. We have sometimes many things, 2 in 1, 3 in 1, 3-dimension photos, 3 in 1. So yoga teaches many in one. How to get many in one. And that is all in one. Many in one means all in one. When you reach the center, you are all pervading.
The fourth state is actually Atma, Paramatma.
Yes, everywhere he is present. Only in some states it is not aware of itself. Some overlapping, some hiding factor is there. That's why it is not aware of itself. That is the only cause, or else the Paramatma is everywhere, in all states, is present there. That is what we are discussing now. The continuation of awareness without any interruption is there. Akhandanand. Akhand. It is uninterrupted, homogeneous presence. Yoga teaches us this method. संकल्पित अर्थ की प्राप्ति में, whatever we think, how to get it here and now. अभ्यास और योग का जो उपयोग है, practice by yogic मेथड। वह चित्त की एकाग्रता के संपादन द्वारा ही है। दैट इज ओनली अचीव्ड बाई वन पॉइंटेड थॉट, ओनली taught by yoga। एकाग्रता न होने पर चित्त अनेक अर्थ में आसक्त होकर किसी एक भी अपने संकल्पित अर्थ को प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता। यूँ असत्य संकल्पत्व ही इसमें प्राप्त हुआ। If the mind has no one-pointedness, concentration, then it cannot get the object. And when there is no one-pointedness, no concentration, then the thoughts get scattered away. One becomes many. The thoughts get scattered away, become many. So nothing is achieved because it goes on changing. And really speaking, there are no many at all. Changes so rapidly, we see many, just as in the video film. If we see a video film, a person will be walking, but that is not the reality. The motion is seen because of many photos are changing rapidly. One person standing, and if it is continued to be seen rapidly, so he will be walking. You know, everybody knows it. This is how one becomes many. One only is there. And constant. One is always constant. If you go on seeing it rapidly, changingly, then that becomes many.
On the other day when Swamiji was explaining what is attention, so you said find out what is the diversion. So can we say the logical value is the diversion also?
If diversion is not there, it is attention. And attention is seen in many ways, that is called diversions. If you turn in the turnings in the road, are you absent? When you walk from one place to other place, do you become absent in the other places? One is changing rapidly. That's how the time, space and conditions change. One is always present there. Isn't it? So that oneness should be understood. And actually we see one only becomes many. If you see many waves in the water, what is the real situation? Water only becomes many waves. So water is one, and it takes the form of many waves. And that also appears as if the waves are moving. No, wave never moves. In reality, water also doesn't move. What happens? Our sight moves. Wave means just in imbalanced state of the water, one height and one lowness. And if that water has all these heights, we see one after the other rapidly, that is understood as movement. For example, once I went to some textile mill to see it. हमारे जो ललित मोहन सेठ जी के, ललित मोहन सेठ इसी को बनाए हैं. I went to his house and he took me to his factories, and somewhere the thread machines, they were working in a line. About 80 machines were there, and every machine was working. So working means some cylinders or something, they always go up and down in one place. And when I stood in a corner, I saw as if the waves are continuously going from one place to other. Because continuously at one place only those cylinders are going up and down. That is how the waves are created. So there is no motion. The water becomes up and down in many places. When we see it at a time, we see the motion.
Our sight is moving.
Samji?
Our sight is moving.
Our sight moves. Our sight moves. Not the water. Just as sitting in a fast train, if you look outside, the trees appear to be moving back. That is the example always given. Whereas you are moving, you think you are sitting. Your movement is not aware by you, and you think the side objects are moving fast back. This is how our senses are always perverted. And you know how the images are created in the eyes? We create only the perverted image, and we have been habituated to see it just the opposite, and we see the objects in a proper way. We have been habituated. This is because of habit only.
So Swamiji, the sight moves mane for a logical value we can take it as a thought.
क्या?
The sight moves. So the logical value for a sight should be taken as a thought.
Exactly. Thoughts move or our sight moves, but truly speaking, nothing moves. When we compare one with the other, then that movement is seen. Don't forget this central principle. Nothing moves. And for this we give our traditional example, Rath Parampara. Rath Parampara means movement seen in a vehicle. Movement, we see the car is moving, say 100 kilometers per hour. Okay. Can you say which part of the car moves? We always discuss it. Truly speaking, analytically speaking, no part of the car, body or engine or the wheels, everything, no part moves. When we compare one part with the other, it appears as if it is moving. Wheel never moves. Every part of the wheel is fixedly, firmly fixed and intact. Nothing moves. Neither the part of the tire, nor the tube, nor the rim. Everything is tightly fixed. If something is separated, means moved, then there will be accident. And accident is known as movement. So on this basis, some people, some schools of thoughts, they believe all these universes or creations, they are only accidental. Accidental.
So that's why in Bhagavad Gita they use the word Sanskrit as matra spashta to
Yes,
contact.
by contact, by accident. And that contact changes. That's how we see many things. All these are natural principles we should know and keep in the mind when we try to understand these theories. संकल्पित अर्थ की प्राप्ति में अभ्यास और योग का जो उपयोग है, यह चित्त की एकाग्रता के संपादन द्वारा ही है. Whatever we achieve, many in one by the sincere practice of yoga, that is nothing but one-pointed mind, concentration of the mind. एकाग्रता न होने पर चित्त अनेक अर्थों में आसक्त होकर किसी एक भी अपने संकल्पित अर्थ को प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता. If the one-pointedness is not there, then the thought goes on changing, and because of attachment, because of desires, it goes on changing. So, it never gets anything. Because you are changing. The moment you catch this, if it falls down, how can you say, I have hold this? If it changes, so that is not called achievement. Today you got the result of your exam. You have passed 90%. And after a few minutes, you got the information. No, it is not 80%, it is 50%. After 5 minutes, no, it is not 50%, it is 30%. After 5 minutes, no, you have failed. So which is true? Can you get the certificate of your passing?
Person will not be there, some heart attack will die.
Yes, you will get a heart attack. How it was announced that I have passed in 80, I have secured 80%. This is how the mind goes on changing, means thought goes on changing. One thought never sticks to one object. It goes on changing because of attachment in so many objects. Just as the attraction of the magnet, because of attachment, the mind goes on changing from object to object, and that's how it gets nothing. If it will stick to one object, then only it can get that. Getting means becoming. This is what is narrated or explained in yogic theories. After samadhi, practicing samadhi, one can use that on any object. On any object you can fix your mind, means thought. And what will be the result? The result will be you will get all the knowledge of the object. All the knowledge will be possible when you are in all the atoms of all the space of the object. That means you are oneness, your oneness with the object. When you steadily cling to one object, then you get more and more information of the object. When you are fully one with the object, then you get all the informations of the object. What happens really? Our thought gets connected with the object for a very short time, that for a moment only. So how much information you will get? Just momentary information. So you don't know all about the object. Say, I saw this thermos before me, and I am not looking at it continuously. Thermos is there, yes. The vowel is there, yes. My hand is there, yes. The tea is there. So every moment it is changing. The actions are changing. So I don't know everything about the thermos, nor I know everything on the tea. Nothing is known. Of course, some informations are achieved, that is haphazard, partial information. If you see the wall, only the color of the wall you get. Do you know what is there inside it? Nothing. And yogic way says, if you go on fixing your mind on that, you will understand all about it. With what ingredients it is made, and every details you can get. That is called sanyam. Sanyam in yogic theories. So that steadiness gives you the realization of oneness with the object. And that's how when you are steadily fixed, your gaze is fixed on one object, that steadiness is called the truth. It never changes. The changing phenomena is known as world, and the unchanging phenomena, it is not phenomena, unchanging state is known as the truth. So if you don't change, you will realize the truth. If you change, you will realize nothing.
So that's why when they say relatively depth of the object, this is, we have to take in this logical sense, not by means of the measurements of 2 centimeters, not that depth. Geometrical value we cannot.
No, nothing is there. Relatively, we have given some names, some understanding, some thoughts are taken for some time, that we say our understanding on time, space and conditions, which is ever changing. And really speaking, there is no time, there is no space, there is no conditions, there is no world. Your changing mind is all these. Your thoughts change, not the world. Nothing is changing. Just as you sit in the train and you think the side trees are moving back, Similarly, we don't see the reality, we see the just opposite. And on this, sometimes I like to remark the modern scientists. They say the moment you pay attention to the God particles, they change. When you pay attention, they change, or else they don't change. What does it mean? They don't understand what they speak. Attention changes, that's how the particles change. Attention means your vision, your thoughts. They change, your mind changes, not the object. Neither God particles nor any particle anywhere in any form, in any condition. Nothing changes. When we compare one with the other, then we see the motion. Just as in our car tradition, in the car nothing moves. But when we compare one with the other, we see everything is moving in the car. And whole total car also moves when we compare it with the road. Then only it looks to be moving. Or else nothing moves. When you see analytically, each and every atom of the object, nothing moves. And if you want to see the movement, even in the atom there is movement. It is not in the atom, the center, and in the periphery, the neutrons and protons and electrons. Nothing is moving, your mind moves. And as such, there is no world-changing phenomena called world. It is ever constant. because you don't see the constancy, don't see the truth. That's how you see this world. Logically and analytically. We have been habituated to it. So we think this is truth. Drinking or eating or doing something, what do you mean by it? Only a changing actions, changing movement. Movement, really speaking, nothing moves. Our thought waves move, and thought waves also do not move. Something is taken as something in some conditions, and something is understood to be something. Nothing is true. Something as something or other. On this basis, I like to say always, something or other is taken as for granted as something or other at some time or other, in some conditions or other, in some place or other, and understood as something or other, and this is our lifestyle. Nothing is known to anyone, nothing is confirmed. All confusion. Clear confusion. Clear confusion. Confusion is continued, that is continuous. One thing is sure, the confusion is continued.
Para and apara prakriti is said in Gita. Apara prakriti is changing and para prakriti is not changing.
Para and apara. It is only different phases of the same Prakriti. Just as we say Brahma Muhurt, Prabhat, Subha. How do you understand all the different words? Only phases change. Some changing phenomena we see phase by phase or a portion by portion, and we name it. First phase, second phase, when our construction, expansion of the city goes on, first phase, second phase, third phase, construction reaches the fourth phase, last phase. This is how it is named. Prakriti is Prakriti. Para is subtler activities, and apara. Apara is subtlemost changes, and para is grosser changes. In these wordings we can understand. And to some extent we have named it. And after that the name changes. Just as the morning sun, midday sun, or evening sun. Some phases have the changes. That's all. So now coming to our point, one-pointed mind is the essence of yoga. That is the practice. यह सामने यद्यपि वस्तु उपस्थित है और संकल्पित भी है, तथापि एकाग्रता के न रहने से उसे मैं प्राप्त नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि संकल्पित और असंकल्पित दोनों का आश्रय करने से चित्त दोनों ओर से भ्रष्ट हो जाता है, कहीं एक जगह स्थिर नहीं हो पाता. The same thing what we have discussed it now. When the thought moves from object to object, then we don't get anything. So we think the objects move, but it is your thought moves, and the changes are seen. If it is not stable in one object, though you see it, though it is near you, it is not yours, because thought changes, and so nothing is constant. You see everything is changing, so nothing you get, nothing you achieve. उक्त अर्थ का ही उदाहरण से समर्थन करते हैं. Now he is trying to give some examples. अभीष्ट सब कार्य एकनिष्ठ पुरुष को ही प्राप्त होते हैं, अन्यनिष्ठ को नहीं. See, if you are climbing some mountains and continuously go on changing your track, will you reach the peak? Never you can. If you stick to one track, one day or other you are bound to reach the peak. On this, Gita says, Swadharme nidhanam shreyah paro dharmo bhayavaha. We have discussed it in Gita, isn't it? One should stick to one, then you can achieve the success. You can get the success. If you go on changing your tracks, your acceptance, your faith, your sankalpas, your thoughts, your needs, whatever you need, if you go on changing, then you get nothing. That's how we are always unsatisfied, uncontented, and that's how we feel lacking something, incompleteness within ourselves. That's how the desires go on multiplying, and we are ever engaged in fulfilling the demands of the desires. We are slave to it. Whole life is wasted in this way. What he means, if you are steady in one object, that is yours, that is you, you become one with it. अभीष्ट सब कार्य एकनिष्ठ पुरुषों को ही प्राप्त होते हैं. एकनिष्ठ मीन्स one-pointed mind. When you stick to one, then you get it. when you change every now and then, you get nothing. Suppose you want to become something, say doctor or engineer or a businessman or an artist, something, and you started the course of engineering. After some time you thought it is hard for me, it is not possible for me. You changed it. You went to medical side. You studied for some time little medical science, and no, it is not good for me. You changed that. Then you started making drawings. And after some time, no, I am not good enough to draw such pictures. Then you changed it and did something else. Then where can you get mastery? How can you use that without being successful in that particular art? Changing is the cause for failures, and sticking to one pointedness is the cause for your success. That's all. अभिष्ट सब कार्य एकनिष्ठ पुरुषों को ही प्राप्त होते हैं, अन्य निष्ठ को नहीं। दक्षिण दिशा की ओर जा रहा कौन पुरुष उत्तर दिशा को प्राप्त कर सकता है? If you are going towards south, can you reach the northern side? If you go on the southern side, you will get the things which are there in south. You cannot get objects of north. संकल्पित अर्थों पर आरूढ़ हुए पुरुष ही संकल्पित अर्थ प्राप्त करते हैं और सामने स्थित अर्थों पर आरूढ़ हुए पुरुष सामने स्थित अर्थों को जानते हैं। If you stick to one object, you will get the knowledge of it, you will get it, you will become it, it becomes yours. If you change, nothing you can achieve. जो पुरुष सामने स्थित और बुद्धि में स्थित दोनों वस्तुओं में संकल्प प्राप्त करने की इच्छा करता है, वह एक निष्ठता न रहने से उस समय उन दोनों का नाश कर देता है। जो पुरुष सामने स्थित और बुद्धि में स्थित दोनों वस्तुओं में संकल्प प्राप्त करने की इच्छा करता है, वह एकनिष्ठता न रहने से उस समय उन दोनों का नाश कर देता है। What happens? We see something and think something else. That is what he is explaining. The common factor with all of us. I am trying to take a sip of tea, but my sight is somewhere else. My mind is thinking something else. So nothing is achieved by me. Nothing I get. This is how everybody is a failure in his life. You may argue No, no, how can you say that? Many people have been seen very successful in life. What do you know about success? How do you define success? How do you define? What is called success? What do you get after success? You get satisfaction, isn't it? Some satisfaction. Are you ever satisfied? Who can say, I am ever satisfied? Then he has to prove he will need nothing else. But there are desires. So no person is satisfied here. No person is successful here in this life, mundane life. You cannot prove that you are successful. No way. You are a failure. Because of failure only, you are a worldly being. You have done some mistake in the very beginning. That is accepting this body to be I. So in no case you can say you are successful. Can you say after doing so many wrongs, so many mistakes, I have been successful? I have done all the mistakes in my you see, mathematics question, answer papers. All the mistakes I have done, and I have secured the highest marks. Can you say like this? So nobody in this world is ever successful. Successful is he who has realized the truth, who never needs anything more than that. That is what is expressed by the great people, achieving which nothing remains to be achieved more, knowing which nothing remains to be known more beyond that. Everything is achieved, everything is known, everything is got. So that is called success.
So logically, in relativity, whatever the actions which are done through sense organs and sense objects, so that success, that what we relatively we take that value will change.
That is momentary success, you can say. With this term you can express it. It is not real success, not permanent success. It is momentary success.
Time being.
Yes, time being success. It will change.
So that's why again we get that desire again. It is not.
Yes, yes. After your retirement from your engineering job, do you practice engineering again? You go to do some other business? So how can you say I have been successful? You have achieved something? No way. जो पुरुष सामने स्थित और बुद्धि में स्थित दोनों वस्तुओं में संकल्प प्राप्त करने की इच्छा करता है, वो एक निष्ठता न रहने से उस समय उन दोनों का नाश कर देता है. And other examples also we gave sometimes. Suppose you are falling from a tree top down. If you go on catching one branch and to save yourself, one branch and leave it and catch another and leave that and catch another. Can you save yourself? Or somebody is drowning in the water, he will go on catching different objects to save himself. Can he save himself? In the same way, we are going with our life. Every moment we get something and give it up. Accept something and reject that. Say, I wanted to eat some bananas at night. I got it, but I rejected it because it is night, it may create cough. So morning I shall eat. Morning was very cold. No, let me eat it at midday, some hot time. At that time my belly was full. So no, I shall eat it in evening. In this way we accept and reject because of some reason or other. So nothing we get. That is how happens with me. I keep up bananas always to eat, but I cannot eat. Now I am having some cough. So in the end I have to give it to the children. That is the case with everyone. Whatever we need, that we desire for, we work for it, and when we get it, we change it. No, not this. I want something else. I wanted to eat mangoes. I put a mango seed in the ground. After 5-6 years, it will yield some mangoes. By the time I have changed my mind, no, mangoes are very bad. I want pineapples.
That's why it's logically children are not ever satisfied with the toys.
Yes, children are the bright examples. They go on changing every moment, so they are ever restless. Comparatively to the youngsters or youths, children are so restless. They will not stand in one place. Nidhi's nephew, he comes always. He will not stand in one place even for a minute. He will run here and there and give him his desired objects, say balloon or some toys or some eatables. But he will take it and throw it. And he will try to catch something else. This is what is practice of everyone. Though we think we are reasonable and people of understanding, knowledgeable people, we do the same thing mentally. इसी से एक निष्ठा के कारण भिक्षुक जीव ने प्रसिद्ध रुद्र की तरह रुद्र रूपता प्राप्त कर सब कुछ सर्वात्म रूप में प्राप्त किया, क्योंकि इसकी भी स्थिति प्रसिद्ध रुद्र की स्थिति के सदृश ही थी. So after all these discussions, we come to our story of Jivat and to the answer of Ram's question. How these thoughts of Jivat, of Rudra, they got aware, they got realization of the truth, how it is possible. So now, after all these discussions, he says this is how. Because the Rudra Hans, the swan who became Rudra, means duplicate Rudra. We can say second Rudra. There is no second, no third. It is from our views. But Rudra is Rudra. You are human being, I am also human being. Maybe your form, your name be different from me, but we are human beings. So in that stand, we are one. So in that way, Rudra is Rudra, the swan became Rudra. So this swan Rudra, secondary Rudra, he had the one-pointed mind. I am Rudra. So he got realization. And he saw all these hundreds before, means past lives, 100 different lives of his own. He saw all these different 100 bodies as one. We have discussed how many can be seen in one. So all these techniques we should apply to understand how everything can be seen in one because of wide angle of vision, all-round vision, and because of steadiness of the vision, because of one-pointedness of the vision. All these are causes for self-realization, and that is applicable everywhere. We can be successful anywhere, everywhere, at all times. This is how Jivat enlightened all other past lives. The many became one. All these are yogic process, and the laws of nature and laws of yoga so tomorrow we shall see further. Tomorrow, still more interesting subject will be, though there were 98 other bodies of the same Jivat, Rudra Jivat, those 98 bodies, they will have different universes, different lives, and different actions, everything will be different, yet it is one. Why we discuss the story of Jivat? Only to understand how the whole universe is but one. For that, the story of Jivat should be understood to every point. Story is so little, but we are discussing it since so long. The logic or the analytical process, when you see, you can have some understanding how this world is one, and it is not the world, because world has names forms difference. Everywhere there is a difference, but this difference is seen only within, in the womb of the non-different one. All these differences, our magic card, all these differences, you see one, and all these differences are in one.
So the small dots are Rudras or 99 Rudras outside?
98 Rudras,
Or small.
yes, 98 Rudras, these white ones, they are one Rudra. Understood? The basement is one, but when you see, it appears to be many. Did you see? So in this way, many is seen in one, and one is seen as many. World in absolute, absolute in world. Harireva jagat, jagadeva harihi, harito jagato nahi bhinnatanu. The law of the Hari, the truth is world, world is truth. There is no difference between the truth and the world. One who understands this clearly, firmly, he is ever realized soul. He has to do nothing. He reaches the highest. So tomorrow we shall see further. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnada Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Sabda Brahma ki jai, Saraswati Maharani ki jai, Yogavasirji Bhagavan ki jai. Hari